And you're very welcome to Dangan here in Galway for the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup quarter-final, the second of the quarter-finals. Of course, last night we watched as SETU Waterford beat DCU. They're the first team in the quarter-finals. Here we're watching University of Galway taking on SETU Carlow. Later on at 7 o'clock down on the Mardyke, UCC play ATU Galway. And then the reigning champions UL, they play UCD at 7:45. And indeed you can also watch that game on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel. All you have to do is go onto the website or indeed just follow the Electric Ireland social media. Delighted to be joined in the commentary position by Paddy Stapleton from Tipperary. Needs no introduction to hurling followers. Firstly, Paddy, lovely dry evening, thankfully. A bit of a breeze, but conditions good for hurling.
Very good, Sean. In fairness, we're driving up to Galway today and saying to myself, I wonder what we'll get, because I think we all know Dangan, if you've been in Galway before, can be very, very open. You'll be lucky to get in under the trees over on the far side, but lovely evening, not too much of a blow in it, and that shouldn't really take over the game. You know, sometimes in the winter the old wind, it's a game of two halves, but I think we could be happy enough this evening.
Looking at the two teams, and we'll start. Actually, let's look at the Galway team, the University of Galway. Of course, the confusion for some of us who have been brought up with UCG, then it went to NUIG, now it's UOG. But the team pretty strong. Oisin Salmon in at full back wearing the number 3 jersey. Owen Lawless, who actually made his debut for Galway against Wexford last weekend, as did Oisin Salmon coming on as a sub. Midfield, you have Alex Kinnear and Ian McGlynn. Evan Nyland has been the star man in terms of scoring. Brian Concannon, also a Galway senior, did well when he came in against Wexford. So strong spine to the Galway team.
Very, very strong, and you would have seen in previous matches in their group stages they did put up some big scores. And I suppose when you get a college like Galway, a lot of Galway players together, they know each other's style, and definitely Owen Lawless, I think, was a guy we saw at the weekend that for me, you know, stood out. You're watching the game, and he took the eye without me knowing that he was going to be a new starter right wing back. I said, God, very, very, very steady, maybe more than steady on the day. So he'll obviously have an eye on securing his place on Henry Shefflin's team. But I think Evan Nyland has been scoring heavily. Brilliant from frees, absolutely. We know that, but saw in some of the previous matches was putting in a lot of scores from play. But Brian Concannon, to me, on his day, you know, he could be as deadly as anyone in the country, and I think at college level here today you'd be expecting, you know, a lot from him.
The two captains, that's Paul Giannini from the Harps Club, at number 3 for Carlow, and Darren O'Brien. He's actually the only tip man that's actually starting for
Clareman.
Oh my God! What
here we go already.
I get a kick in the ankle from that one. Let's look at the SETU Carlow team then. James Lawlerman's in goal. Paul Giannini, as I said, is at fullback. David Blanchfield from that good Kilkenny hurling family from Venice Bridges at 6. Up top, Cian Kenny has been breaking onto that Kilkenny team, Paddy, and of course the inside line. Thomas Keys from Camross, a very good hurler. Chris Nolan, one of Carlow's best and experienced player, and Owen Cody has been shooting the lights out, hasn't he?
Absolute game breaker, Owen Cody, and I suppose with the Shamrocks all year, and we saw his exploits there with Kilkenny the last few years. He's kind of exploded over the last couple of years. Again, very like very like Brian Concannon. He's probably again on another level again. He could destroy a team if he gets going. David Blanchfield, another guy, very unlucky. We thought he'd be on the Kilkenny team last year. If we looked at the league, he wasn't, but he looks to be starting strong this year. And even, you know, Cian Kenny, to me, I saw him in the highlights the other day against Kilkenny. There's a world of difference between his physicality this year and last year. So I think Kilkenny can expect, and hopefully Carlow can expect a lot from him today.
Niall Malone is the referee. I believe he may have suffered a little bit from the Galway traffic. Paul Fahey is the linesman on this side of the field. Carol Collins is the linesman on the other side of the field. If you're watching us, you're watching on the Electric Ireland stream here of the Fitzgibbon quarter-final. The only team that's definitely in the hat for the semi-finals are SETU Waterford. Here we have SETU Carlow in their blue jerseys taking on University of Galway in the maroon jerseys. Niall Malone was about to throw it in, but then looked inside and saw something wasn't quite ready. What we'll watch for Paddy straight away is who will pick up the danger man Owen Cody. Straight away it's the Carlow men on the break from the throw-in, and what a way to start the game. Kenny Ryan from Tumivara, a man you know well yourself, Paddy.
Yes, man, I've seen this winter playing the Under-21 Championship. Great speed, Kenny Ryan, powerful hurler, and he took that very, very well.
Good score straight from the throw-in. So Carlow get off to a good start. Ball breaks in the midfield sector. Ian McGlynn gets a touch up along the wing into the corner forward there. That's Niall Collins from Cappataggle. Flick the ball inside to the captain, Darren O'Brien, who's fouled with a free in. And I tell you one thing, there won't be any question about who's taking the free.
No, I don't think there was a conversation inside in the dressing room about that. Darren O'Brien doing well. Kind of a tense tackle there by the Carlow defender. And one of those where you're trying to get into the game and he just left the leg out, and, you know, very obvious for the referee. Even if he was in traffic and he was late, he'd still get that one.
Yeah. So Evan Nyland He's been hitting big scores. I think it's 123 so far in his 2 games in the Fitzgibbon competition. Slightly different structure this year, 2 games in the group, and Evan Island does exactly what he normally does, puts it over the bar. And I suppose the one thing, Paddy, in any level, a good free taker crucial, isn't it?
And you know what, in Fitzgibbon, I remember a few times, you can be let down because there's a lot of frees at times with the weather that's in it and the amount of tackles, so you do need a good free taker.
Good play by Galway, coming out of the defence, ball breaking off the stick there of Evan Island. The numbers are back there for Carlow. Brian Concannon tries to get onto the ball, but eventually it's the Carlow men that come away. Quick little pop pass off to the cornerback Adam Daly, who then goes long into the one-man full forward line inside. There was a slip inside, but he's broken inside the full forward. A shot into the back of the net. Chris Nolan. It was a 50-50 ball. High ball in 1-1, wasn't dealt with by the Galway defence, and Chris Nolan did the business.
Yeah, Adam Daly popped one in, and I think Oisin Salmon just kind of over-eager to get the ball. Chris Nolan fended him off in behind it and popped it away. Something you might see underage, but did very well to hold him off, and a great strike to the net.
Great start for the Carlow men then. They lead by 1-1 to a point. Early doors in this contest, and the other thing, that's a long-range effort out the field that goes high and over the bar. Good score. NUIG get one back.
Yeah, great score by Alex Kinnear. Just a little pop ball out. Again, Darren O'Brien involved. Popped it out to him and straight over the bar. Lovely strike.
So, second point of the game for University of Galway. But how will they react to that? I suppose the other thing about Chris Nolan, he has that bit of experience. He's able to hold off defenders. As again, straight to the middle go Carlow with great pace by the corner forward. Going in and goal and sticking it to the back of the net. Thomas Keys from Camross. Excellent goal, you have to say. But Paddy, from a defensive point of view, he slid through the middle.
He slid through the middle. The disappointing, if he rode 2 or 3 tackles, Sean, you'd be saying to yourself, brilliant. Now, what speed? I'd say the Galway defence were actually at 6 and 7, didn't realise the speed that Thomas Keys has, but he showed it there, and some finish off the hurley into the top corner.
2-1 to 2 good points. And we've hardly played 2 minutes, or what is it, gone in the contest? 3 minutes gone. 2 of the scores that Carlow have got have been goals. You couldn't script this if you're the Carlow management. Ball breaks it over the far side of the field again, and really NUIG, or UOG now as they're known, need to just settle themselves back into the game. Kinnear goes long into the full forward line, well taken by Greg Thomas, gets onto his left hand side, striking in towards the goal. Did he pull it? No, he got it just inside the far post. Excellent score. And Paddy, you have to say the quality of the score so far have been top notch.
Unbelievable. That was great ball into space, turning over the bar. I think they just have to shoot with abandon now, and it's settled down these few early scores, and they're all having a lash at it.
So 3 points then for the home team, but it's 2 goals and a point for Carlow. As Galway come on the attack again, early ball inside to the right corner forward position with Oisin Flannery. As with the St. Thomas's club, goes back to his captain Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien pops it high, puts it over the bar.
That's some response now, Sean. Unbelievable. I think it was Greg Thomas got the first one, and then out to Darren O'Brien, who again, you know, is involved. That's 3 scores he's involved in the first few minutes.
Good on the possessions. Measured puck out to Kenny Ryan, dropping deep into that half-back line. Gets the pass away there to Mark Troy from Durrow. Mark Troy gets it off then to the runner again, who was Kenny Ryan, who's up in support. Excellent support player, running off the shoulder so far from the Carlow men. Keane Kenny on the ball. He's pulled to the deck, and that's going to be a free in. Very noticeable what the game plan is from Carlow here.
Yeah, exactly. Even on the first goal scored there by Chris Nolan, David Blanchfield carried the ball and popped it off. Here, Kenny Ryan ran at the ball, popped it off to Keane Kenny, and Keane Kenny then gets fouled. And fair enough, he got spun around there, but it's in a big contrast to Galway.
It is.
Galway are popping it. 2 last balls have gone into lovely space in the corners, and it is a real battle of the styles. See who can get on top.
It's also difficult, Paddy, to deal with if you're, you can talk about it, but when players start running at you, it's the one thing as a defender you don't want. As Cody pops the point.
Exactly, your tackling has to be good. You have to stop him up. There has to be a few men willing to do the running, and as we saw for Thomas Keys' goal, that wasn't the case. And they have to be on red alert at all stages. So they were cock cold early on, and after giving themselves a little mini mountain to climb, Sean. So we'll see how they can respond. But you'd have to say they got 2 points in a row there.
Yeah, they answered it.
Yeah, and so they're not disappointing the crowd, the home crowd that have come.
Keane Kenny just getting some running repairs as we talk, but I suppose the old adage, goals win you games, but if you can score them, they are hard scores to get back. But look at, if you're going to concede them from a Galway point of view, early on is probably the time to do it. 5 minutes in, 2 to 4 points. So plenty of work to do, but not insurmountable. No,
definitely not insurmountable, and I think that they showed that they've the ability. They haven't shown a real threat around the goal area like Carlow have, so I think they probably will need a goal or two to get over the line in the game.
And no real breeze here, so it's not a major factor. Puck out, goes to the half-forward line, knocked away again. The wing forward, Mark Troy, helping out in defence, as is the modern game. Gets the pass off then to Keane Kenny, who I think has now got a red helmet on him. Goes back with the pass then to Blanchfield, and Blanchfield powers the ball over to the field. Lovely take on the stick by Owen Cody. Is that Owen Cody?
Kieran Burke.
Kieran Burke, in fact it is, and he puts it high, puts it over the bar. Lovely take on the stick from the Ballinamuir man. Good score.
Brilliant move down from the puck out, was broken down, popped it across and over the bar.
Puck out, taken down there by Niall Collins. His younger brother Liam actually made his debut for Galway in the league. There is Owen Cody now right in front of us. Cody goes for a score from the 65-metre line. Great strike. Is that inside the post? No, it just goes to the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, no, he was unlucky with that strike, but Mark tried. That's 2 puck outs in a row, the wing forward. He's been all the way back into his own 65 and passed it, and he's come onto the breaks, and that's a launch pad for Carlow.
Short puck out in contrast then by Galway. Owen Lawless feeds it into Evan Nyland, goes long in around the square, knocked away from the goalkeeper by Oisin Flannery, but just didn't get enough purchase on it, goes wide.
Yeah, unlucky there. I suppose we'd usually look at Evan Nyland with his beautiful strike of a ball, going straight over.
Quick puck out, well taken by Keane Kenny from the midfield sector. Has he popped the point? No, goes to the wrong side of the post wide. There's a speed about the Carlow game, isn't there, Paddy?
That's 2 or 3 short ones to the midfield they've got off, and Galway can't let that happen because it's too easy a chance at this level.
It is. And of course, Niall Malone, the referee, hasn't blown either, so he's allowing the keeper to do it.
Yeah, it has that challenge match kind of feel. When the ball goes wide, it just gets pucked straight out.
So the white helmet goes back on Keane Kenny. It looks like Owen Lawless is picking up Owen Cody, but Cody is drifting between the 2 lines. Puck out to that far side of the field. Collins is there for the men of Galway as Alex Kinnear bursts onto that ball, the Sarsfields man. Lovely flick away from by Blanchfield though. Ball sprays out then to Niall Collins. Collins taking on a shot from a difficult angle. Umpire looks, but he's not satisfied, goes wide.
Yeah, I suppose that was a kind of a shot you'd hope you maybe 2 out of 10 you might put him over the bar. People in his face, throwing it off the back foot. I'm sure he has the ability, but maybe turning around, recycling is what the Galway guys need now. They need to get scores and inch their way back in.
Longer puck out from Carlow. Lawless takes it away from Cody. Ball hits the deck. Onto it is Thomas Hines. Quick pass out into the Mike Cullen man. That's Colin Cunningham. Cunningham to Tiernan Killeen. Another member of Henry Shefflin's senior squad. Then goes back to Thomas Hines. Galway using the ball well. Then Evan Nyland decides, you know what? From the left half forward position, I'm going for this. That's a super strike. We're right behind it. Yeah. Excellent score, Paddy.
John, we could see that straight away. I'd say he was angry at himself for that first one, maybe 2 minutes ago. And he absolutely lashed that. You know, he really struck right through the ball. So great score, and they are keeping themselves in it.
Certainly are. 2 goals and 3 points to 4 points. Then puck out, going to reach the Galway 45-metre line, breaks back onto it is the wing back Jared Lynch, but he can't keep it in the field of play, and that goes out over the line. Yeah,
great tackle by Ian McLean. I suppose Gerard Lynch was coming onto that break very, very well, and probably was another attack. Only in fairness to Ian McLean, he came out of position. That's hard work, and I suppose, you know, every turnover can be worth a score. You know, I mean, I think they were going to come up and be very dangerous if they got that one. So fair play to Ian McLean, working really hard around the middle of the field.
Absolutely. You'd have to say as well, Paddy, if you're a defender, is it a really unsettling to concede 2 goals so early in a game? Does it throw confidence a bit?
It does a little bit, and then you realise every ball they go for now, if they score another goal, we're in a bit of trouble. You know,
you have 3 conceded, like
3 conceded, and you know, Carlow are always going to score a few points as well. They're a dangerous team, so you can't let them run up that amount of scores.
So it's unsettling.
It certainly is, and if your man is after scoring a couple, if it's your man who's after doing the damage, then you're very unsettled.
Does the degree of unsettling?
You're looking over at the sideline.
Where am I now? Ian McGlynn, former Galway underage star, good hurler this guy, striking the ball, strikes a good purchase on it, gets it over to the far side of the field, well taken by Oisin Flannery, turns onto the left hand side, striking at goal, but only goes into the welcoming hand of James Lawler, the Ferns clubman. He gets it out then to David Blanchfield. Big strong Kilkenny man, lovely dummy. Sold that and bought by Darren O'Brien. And then Blanchfield goes long. Galway doubling up though on the attackers back there. Tiernan Killeen dropping back into the full back line, goes across to Oisín Salmon. The full back looking up the field. Goes with a measured ball, trying to play it into space, but well read there by the covering cornerback. That's Kieran Burke, already a scorer in the game. Carlow trying to work the ball upfield. Well taken though by Owen Lawless. Good play by the centre back, but I think he's more times in the company of Owen Cody this evening as Galway again launch it, as Paddy said, measured ball into the corner forward position. Justin Flannery. He's won the last 2. What can he get from this one? He goes back with the pass inside. Well taken there by Niall Collins. Niall Collins again doesn't get the the right connection on it, and 2 balls dropped into the keeper.
Yeah, that's an issue there. That's 2 corner forwards have hit speculative shots when, when they're under serious pressure, and that's not helping.
As the ref blows back there, Owen Cody was going away, but I think he may have overcarried.
Yeah, Owen Lawless himself, as you called out there, himself and Owen Cody, you're going to be at it all day now, and joy for us to watch two great seniors and the size of Owen Cody there. Yeah, he's really physically after coming on the last 2 years. So that's a serious job for Owen Lawless.
It is. It's a good measure.
It is, and he hasn't even got into the match yet. So we're talking about dangers in a forward line and for Galway in the backs, and that's one they have to keep out for the next 50 odd minutes.
We talked about no breeze, but we're in the commentary position now. There is a breeze coming into us. Whether that was a factor in the last 2 balls being hit sharp by University of Galway, but anyway, Evan Nyland back inside his own 65-metre line. He strikes it, and there's no doubt about that one.
Yeah, that's
third point
class
for Evan Nyland, and if you have a free kick taker of that quality, you bring him back that far.
You'll be bringing him back further even. Yeah, he's hitting the back net with that. And I'd say they have a small little breeze there, but my God, that was super strike.
So 2-3 to 5 points as Carlow varying some of the puck outs. This one then goes in after the quick 1-2 at the back. Ball breaks out into the welcoming hand of Owen Cody. Owen Cody goes across with the pass inside to his full forward, Chris Nolan, and goal scorer already. Chris Nolan, well blocked down though. Good play by Tiernan Killeen. The Loughrea club man comes away, has the support runners, pops it into Evan Nyland. He's dropping deep as well. Then gets the pass off to his wing back. That's Colin Cunningham, and Cunningham then goes long into the one-man full forward line. In there trying to get onto this is Greg Thomas, but Paul Delaney of the Harps is back there. Does well. Well recycled by SETU Carlow, and they then go back to the goalkeeper James Lawler. Long high ball upfield, taken well. Pressure being put on, but good play there by the full forward again. That's Chris Nolan, crossfield ball. This needs to be defended by Galway because there was a slight chance there of the corner forward Thomas Keys. If he had broken inside, there was a lot of grass that he could have ran into. Defended by Galway, but eventually Jack Morrissey is involved there. The strike off the left is hit, but that one goes to the wrong side of the post and wide. Yeah,
wide, and it's interesting to note there that a few times Galway have come up the field with the ball. They haven't been on the same wavelength as the inside forwards, and a couple of wayward balls in, like, Oisin Salmon came out well with, Podgeleni came out well with the ball there, but it should have been a good ball into the front forward.
Yeah. But if you're playing one inside, though, it nearly needs to be perfect ball though in a way, doesn't it?
It does.
Defending being done over there. Well done by I think it's Greg Thomas coming in along the end line there. In fact, it's Niall Collins. He goes back to Greg Thomas. Thomas tries to offload, lies into Evan Nyland. Nyland shot, good block down, goes in. We go back for the advantage though, and for the free in. First goal threat from Galway.
First goal threat, and it came from a running hard on the side, and he was let in, a little bit easy probably. I think it was Niall Collins ran through with it. Great run, and
came out to Thomas, who offloaded quickly.
Quickly, which hadn't actually happened. We said earlier on, 2 corner forwards hadn't offloaded ball, and they did that time. And geez, I think it was James O'Connell got that last block down there,
which was brilliant.
We know that was, I'm sure that was rifling into the top or the bottom corner if Evan Nyland had got a stroke off there. So probably a certain goal stopped by James O'Connell, even though it might be a free, but that was vital.
You'll give the point if you can stop the goal, you would think. Nyland with the free. I was going to say it's an absolute gimme because the way he hit the last one, he was nearly in Galway City. This time he was only in front of the goal.
Absolutely.
Fourth point, third free. They're dependent enough on them for scores though.
They are, but look, they are running hard at them. They are getting opportunities. I still think they have a lot of chances there, and they seem to have calmed it down in the back line a little bit. They're after winning a lot of battles in their back line now, so they have to keep that up.
Certainly do. Tiernan Killeen has read the latest effort to go into that SETU Carlow full forward line. Goes back to Thomas Hines. Thomas Hines turns, plays a kind of a 50-50 ball though. That won't go down well in terms of where it went to Jack Morrissey. Farrar Carlow gets it in field. Ball bounces a little bit awkwardly, but Owen Lawless deals with it. Then measures the pass out to Ian McGlynn. Ian McGlynn, hand pass to Tiernan Killeen. Killeen thought about going one way. Suddenly he's been bottled up, but goes back with the pass. Competent play and composed play by the Loughrea man. McGlynn goes out wide, and suddenly there's an ocean of space the far side, where Colin Cunningham drives an early ball, breaking off into Brian Concannon. We haven't seen a lot from Concannon. He gets it onto his left hand side though, and
that's a great score. Now, that is
first score.
That is serious.
Lethal on that left side. Well worked by Galway.
Well worked. Tiernan Killeen has been amazing since the 2 goals from Carlow. He's cleaned up ball after ball, as you said, keeping his head, making sure it comes out well. That was a really good score. Again, a good ball in this time, straight to hand, offload, and Concannon over the bar.
Ball breaks. Wing back. Gerard Lynch up in the half-forward line for the puck out for the part of the strategy. Goes out over the line. And that will be a line ball.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to say Galway have pulled themselves together very well
They
after
have.
2 goals. Like, easily you could be falling apart in that situation.
Yeah, or even with 1 goal, you'd say something, but 2 was a mega hit.
2 was a big body blow, and I think they've done really well. That last ball is key for them now. You know, I think Oisin Flannery made a great run, but it was put into his hand out in front of him, and he popped to Concannon and made it an easy score, what they probably should have got 2 or 3 more of them earlier.
And you need to get Concannon into the game as well, Paddy, because he can do that. Ian McGlynn, good blind ball. Going to go over towards Oisin Flannery. Being defended there by Paddy Casey. Flannery does well to win the ball. Gets the hand pass a little bit undercooked, but we go back for the free. Better work.
He's winning those balls, Oisin. You know, I mean, sometimes, a couple of times early on, maybe you would have said the decision making wasn't 100%, but I think in the last 5 minutes he's come on top. And there again, high ball coming in, he's won it. You know, unlucky with the hand pass to put his teammate through, but getting the free nonetheless. That's 2 more points back now, and they're really back into it.
So a chance then for Evan Island on the 45-metre line. Pops it high. The umpire, a little bit dramatically, eventually goes to the flag. So that's point number 5 for Evan Island.
Yeah, the wind's really after picking up there now.
It has, yeah.
We can feel it blowing down. So Galway will have to take advantage of that while it's there.
They're level now, though, 2-3 to 9 points. So after what is about 16 minutes, 17 minutes in, suddenly from a situation where the 2 goals conceded in the opening 3 minutes, Paddy, they'll be happy enough.
They will, and Carlow, I suppose, you know, have they gone to sleep or have Galway up there? I think a little bit of both, but Galway, you'd have to praise them how well they've come back into it.
Owen Cody gets the flick pass off. Galway put the pressure on, though. Owen Lawless goes down on that ball. Ian McGlynn is also in there. No stranger either is McGlynn to picking up quality forwards in his career so far. Rook ball. Doesn't go far, Paddy, but the endeavour is there. Eventually picked up then by Kenny Ryan, does well. Offloads quickly to James O'Connell. Puts the ball into space now. Chris Nolan out in front of Oisin Salmon. Salmon goes in, puts in the tackle though, and reclaims the ball. Conan Cunningham does the tiding, goes back to Mark Hardiman from the Athenry Club. Thought about going long and then eventually said, I will go long, but probably what he was looking at is what has now been found. Greater numbers back there for Carlow. They come up the field again. This one goes across the field. Looks like Jack Morrissey trying to get onto it, being held up by Thomas Hines. Morrissey gets it onto the left-hand side, gets a strike away, but only goes into the welcoming hand of Liam Riley. That probably is one of the first balls that they've been short with. Gets it out to Tiernan Killeen, using the ball well. Ian McGlynn and then looks upfield and then decides to put it into an ocean of space. Alex Kinnear, the midfielder, expected to get there, but it had been read by Adam Daly, in fairness.
That's 2 in a row there now. Yeah. A real good chance to push it into a good space, and either the run wasn't right or the ball in wasn't right.
Heads up hurling, Paddy, I think you call it, isn't it? As slips away nicely there does Cian Kenny. Cian Kenny takes on the shot from out the country, striking it in, but that one goes to the wrong side of the post and wide, so we remain level. We remain level,
and that's Cian Kenny has had a couple of those opportunities. We wouldn't associate that kind of striking with Cian Kenny. He'd usually be pretty on the mark there, but
he's dropped deep too, Paddy. Is he really gone to the middle of the field earlier?
He's in around there anyway. I think they could be playing with only 4 or 5 forwards at this stage.
So much for the formations, eh?
Him and Nolan were actually, or Evan Island were
we're actually
together.
picking up each other,
So they're both drifting, and that's the centre forward's job, I suppose, these
dropping
days.
deep, Mark Hardiman. That's a better ball out of defence now, finding his wing forward there. Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien takes on the shot. Darren O'Brien again. That's 3 I can think of into the goalkeeper.
And you just can't do it. And I suppose noticeably it's from positions. He was under a little bit of pressure there, Nolan. A couple of the players were under pressure striking, and you know it's difficult to get.
But it was a difficult shot to take on. Meanwhile, down at the other end, danger ball in around Chris Nolan in there with Oisin Salmon. Salmon does well this time to hold him off. Ball goes into Liam Riley. Liam Riley picks it out to Colin Cunningham. A little bit stretchy on it, but does well the Mike Cullen man to reclaim possession. Galway working the ball out. Darren O'Brien from the old club in Ennis, of course, the captain, goes long again into the full forward line. This time Concannon has seemed to have drifted in there. He gets onto that ball now. Good play by Concannon ahead of Kieran Burke. He's standing on the sideline at the left-hand side. That's an outrageous effort. Going in towards the goal, but it goes to the wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, like a great win even inside, and noticeable by him the weekend, even with Galway after half-time, where he made a
huge impact
there. But I'd say the movement around him wasn't fantastic either. He got the ball, and Galway made him run to him, made him run away from him, so it had to be individualistic.
Cian Kenny dropping deep again onto that puck out, drops this one over the bar.
He must have heard us.
He did. He had a few sighters, but he's put that one over the bar. That's obviously a tactic. Fast puck out again to him.
Yeah, they've got 3 or 4 out at this stage. stage, and that's little ones, cheap ones that Galway don't want to give away. It's too hard to get those scores back.
2-4 plays 9 points then. 6 scores to 9, but when 2 of them are goals, Paddy, that
it makes a difference.
It is, and here we go again through the centre of the Galway defence. Thomas Keys, the shot at target, comes off the woodwork. Oisin Salmon is alert to it. But the ease again with which the accelerator went on, but he went through the centre back channel, you could say.
I still think they're not up to pace with how fast he actually is. They're not on the alert.
Blanchfield comes through now the centre forward channel. This is David Blanchfield, the centre back. Tried to offload the quick pass, but it was intercepted by Owen Lawless here in Killeen. Again, minding the ball, gets it off to Thomas Hines. Hines can't go up the field because when we're looking, there's no one to hit, so he has to run it out. Gets inside the would-be talent, as then ends up on the deck. No freeze to the referee, goes back, tries to reclaim it. Evan Nyland goes in. And eventually it's won by Carlow, who win the free. Modern game summed up in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it was predictable there because, you know, in fairness, I think Thomas Hines coming out with the ball there, he was running, there was nobody inside, but you know, if there's nobody inside, there has to be someone coming over to help.
There has to be someone on
the shoulder, whatever you call it. Just support, old school support play. So there was neither what he had, so he had to run into trouble. And in this day and age, if you run into anyone, you know, 2 or 3 lads with a ball, like he did the Carlow lads, they'll turn you over. The tackling is too good these days, and players are too strong. So, you know, Kenny Ryan, in fairness to him, working very, very hard with and without the ball, and turned him over, and that's disappointing now from Galway, you know, because...
And you wouldn't be too harsh on Hines, because there really wasn't anything else he could do. He ran it, he couldn't go along, there was nothing ahead of him.
And he couldn't stand up and look, or, you know, kind of
bottled up.
There was people behind him, he was getting chased, and that's credit to Carlow, but still, there was no one made the effort, and really took ownership, say, give me the ball. You know, give me the ball, because we know you're in trouble. So both teams have little bits and pieces, but Carlow have nearly upped it a little bit since teams came back level. They look like they've pushed it on another little bit, but it still, I suppose, is anyone's game, but they just look a little bit dangerous. The only thing I'd say is Oisin Salmon has done very well
after the initial
jump in twice.
But the point is, Chris Nolan is a fairly experienced campaigner, isn't it, at inter-county level, probably older than you would expect at Fitzgibbon level as well. Like.
And he has all-stars playing for Carlow, like that's the level he's playing at. You know, power, pace, and obvious hurling. We saw the finish there, but Oisin, in fairness, Oisin Salmon, he didn't dive in the last 2 times. He used his strength, and you know, you learn the job sometimes when you're a young player. And you learn
on the job. Tom Doyle is in as a blood sub for Kenny Ryan. Owen Cody comes back inside his 65-metre line. We saw what Evan Nyland was doing. Striking, lovely strike. Looks to be on the way. Goalkeeper Liam Ryan takes it down with the stick and does well. Paddy was beside me. I tell you, there was more than the heart in the mouth. But
it's a cold evening.
In credit to the goalie, he did it.
Yeah, cold evening, hard to use the hand maybe.
Would be a goalie, boy. As the ball breaks in the midfield section, Blanchfield is on to again. Big, powerful man wins the free. He's playing the advantage. We go back to Owen Cody. Owen Cody will shoot on an advantage. He knew that even if it went wide, it went, we actually didn't go back for the free after all that.
And there wasn't a wide signal either. I'd say they were expecting a free to go, were they?
They were, I'd say.
I think the umpire was expecting a free.
Yeah, maybe. And I'd say the players were too. But
it wasn't 5 seconds anyway, that's for certain.
No. Oh, don't talk to me about the advantage length, anyway. Good catch by Greg Thomas. Goes back out to Evan Nyland. 1-2. In fact, it was Brian Concannon that caught that. He got it on the left-hand side. Concannon goes for another spectacular effort that just goes the wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, great catch again. Whatever he's after doing over the winter, he's got serious on the high ball. But again, running away from goal, defender in his face. It's those scores.
It's where Carlow want him, though, isn't it? In those peripheral areas away from goal.
And that's hard work. That's hard work by them. But Galway need to work harder to get it into a shooting position.
Good catch in the half-back line. That's Alex Kinnear. Gets the ball inside. Again, Concannon, no free. The natives want a free here. Paul Delaney, I think, was the man that was doing the defending there, and Carlow will be quite happy with the way they've again dealt with that. Long ball upfield brought to the ground. Colin Cunningham. I was going to say sure he was fouled, but I waited for the referee to say he was fouled. Yes,
and even Brian Concannon inside. Maybe there was, you know, Podge Delaney was going hard on him, though. I suppose he was shoving him and walking into him. But
right now, as we look at the shot, the Galway forwards, they have, we'll say, Oisin Flannery is the only one that's inside the 20-metre line. There's not a lot to hit in there.
There's not. And even if you're talking about positioning, you know, so the ball was won out here. if you're
Say
an
it
inside
right half
forward,
back.
you don't want him out here, would you?
No.
You probably want him, the modern game. If I'm playing corner back, I want him out at the D as well. There's no space out there. So I think it's definitely something they'll have to look at. Concannon, to be fair, is making good runs, but he's very far out when he gets the ball.
You don't want him out there. Like.
No.
Evan Island back inside his own 65-metre line again, striking it. There's usually only one result. There it is.
Yeah,
quality free taker.
He's pretty automatic with him. And, he's going a long way to keeping him in this game.
Yeah. Back on level terms again. 4 to 10 points. If you've just joined us here on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel, you're watching the Fitzgibbon Cup quarter-final, and it's level between the home team, University of Galway, who are taking on SETU of Carlow. 2 early quick-fire goals from Carlow threatened at them pulling away, but Galway come back into the game. Ian McGlynn is fouled, and that's going to be a free. Yeah,
Ian McGlynn has played well, in fairness to him. He's got into an awful lot of dirty ball and carrying ball, so he did very well. But again, Tiernan Killeen, maybe he's playing spare man, but that's up to Carlow.
And he seems to, but he's able to use it.
He's brilliant at it. Pirouette, you see him pirouette now. He's not a big man by any means, but he always seems to have time on the ball, and he's moving out to space. So he's not trying to bust his way through, guys, but he's just keeping the game flowing for Galway.
So Evan Island, again, inside his own 65-metre line. Man who led Clarenbridge to the county final in Galway 2 years ago. Striking, what a strike.
What a great one.
Excellent score. 7th point of the game. Galway, who reached the Fitzgibbon final last year, he was hugely instrumental in that as well, with those free taking ability. And it puts Galway back in front.
And Sean, we said at the start of the game, Fitzgibbon hurling, winter hurling, you need a free taker, because there's always rucks, and coming over ruck is nearly a lot of time a free. So they will be needed.
Good set of backs, a free taker.
Exactly.
You have some of the ingredients anyway.
Yes.
Good pressure there by Niall Collins, trying to force a turnover coming out as Carlow goes short. Blanchard gets the pass away, and I hear Jeff Linsky, the Galway manager from here, pushing up on that charter puck out.
Yeah, look, to me there now, the hand pass with David Blanchfield. Look, they put him under great pressure, so they had him to the sideline, but didn't see a throw there now, and it was on the blind side really. The referee, we were kind
one of the contentious ones, isn't this, pulling for hand passes and what is and isn't, like it's.
To me, that was he made the jerk with the hand
was
to
there,
say, but look, I don't think University of Galway will complain.
No, especially with the man about to take the free as Thomas Keys or Kenny Ryan comes back in. That blood substitution reversed. Tom Doyle goes back to the bench. Not sure is there a bench in Dangan, but he'll stand up and watch it like the rest of us. Nyland striking it with that one curl inside. Did it get away? No, not enough. Let off.
Thought he was just inside the post, but
is that justice for your hand pass call?
Possibly, yeah. And they probably let the ref know about that now out there in the field.
Puck out onto the half forward line. Breaks on the deck. Kenny Ryan back into it again. He's been very energetic. Wins the free again. He's been lively now.
He has been very lively. And, a modern wing forward. Like his counterpart really on the other side, Mark Try, out under the breaks, in on the support play, and it's always that collisions that they're looking for. And look, Ian McGlynn were saying he's working very hard, but that was just a little messy tackle. Powerful man like Kenny Ryan, it's hard to stop him without actually fouling him.
But in set play situation like the puck outs like that still is a free given away. It's a scoring opportunity, isn't it?
I mean, a guy like Cody standing up over a ball in his own to hit a free is not something you want.
Cody just one free so far. He's about to pop maybe his second one, but the fact that he hasn't scored from play, that's gone wide as well. The fact that he hasn't scored from play yet, Jeff Linsky will be happy with that from a Galway point of view.
He will. He'll be very, very happy. Every time he's got it, the Galway guys have been close, or Lawless has been close by, so that they'll need to continue that.
Greg Thomas came out under that puck out from a Galway point of view. Again, the rook develops. Who's going to win this one? Kenny Ryan involved, but it's won by Darren O'Brien. Does well, goes back to Owen Lawless. Owen Lawless thought about going one way, had to go the other, then gets a little bit of space out to Nyland. Nyland wants to pull the trigger, he pulls it. As two players go down, and that ball has gone to the left-hand side and wide. I think there was an insinuation, was there, that one of them may have got.
Maybe I think they ran into each other. I mean, trying to block Nyland down. I wouldn't have seen much in it because
we were following the ball. It was gone wide. He saw that he just for a second he said, "Will I or won't I?" And then did. And it just tailed away. I
thought he'd strike that maybe a little bit quicker. But it was surprising there, Carlow had so many men around that
to get
beaten. And to leave Nyland on his own. He's the one guy you say, hold on, we can't let that guy stand and strike like that. So, but you'd see they dived in again. I think is Kenny in the wars again. He's got another shot in the head. but they dived in. So I think Galway were looking for a free for that, but it was a fairly honest effort by the two Carlow guys. They did more damage to themselves than anything.
Let's see.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, it is. Kenny Ryan is definitely.
Is it Kieran Burke is on the ground as well?
And looks like a shoulder injury.
It doesn't look great. No, it's Adam Daly.
Adam Daly, Adam Daly,
And he's holding the arm up on the shoulder there. There's never a good sign.
So see one of Brian Cody's trusted lieutenants out there having a chat now with the referee as well.
Mick Dempsey,
yeah. Maybe giving his view on what he thought might have happened.
He might have. The old hand pass may have come up again, I'd say, in conversation.
Quote me the rule on that one.
No,
this is more like typical Fitzgibbon though, Paddy, isn't it? Hard hitting the injuries or whatever.
Hard hitting, and you know, like, these are all inter-county level players, but it's probably not done to date in terms of tactics like an inter-county match either.
Yeah.
They'll have their way of playing, but it's not as set, so it's, you know, they're young players out there, they're giving their all, and, you know, you'd have to say there's a lot of intensity in it out there, not as much, you know, passing and structural stuff that we're used to at inter-county. I think, you know, it's a breath of fresh air.
More heart as well, let it happen. 11 points to 2-4. Coming up to, we're going past the half hour, so we're into the additional time. You would have to say that probably, I was going to say, who would be the happier manager?
But to be honest with
Carlow
you,
started great.
Galway have to be happy.
Yeah, to get themselves alive,
Oh, they were in a really perilous position there, and if Carlow had kicked on and the chances maybe to get more goal chances in there, they probably weren't sharp enough to get them. But Galway to inch their way back in without playing. They're not playing fantastic either, Galway.
We can see now that Killeen definitely playing that sweeper role, cheering Killeen, so that might have solidified it a small bit.
It did, and they needed him to come into it there, because we saw for the goal, for Thomas Keyes' goal, you know, it was open season back there, it was open country, and that just can't happen.
And the first one was nearly route one ball in on top, wasn't it? Yeah. We're back to both, good to see both Adam Daly and Kenny Ryan back and play. Galway win the ball from that throw in into Greg Thomas. Thomas slips it inside the full back. Delaney. Blanchfield is there as well. Galway though simply don't have the numbers there, and eventually it's the corner back as Adam Daly comes away with that ball, drives upfield. McLean used the hurl perfectly to take that ball down. That's a better ball now into space, looking for and finding Darren O'Brien. Now he's looking across again to see what's on. Goes with a crossing ball over to Niall Collins. Niall Collins looking for a free, notices the referee. Carlow have 2-3 on 1 there, but Galway tried to recycle it. Well done to work the ball back by Kinnear to Owen Lawless. Owen Lawless is going to take on the shot off the left on the swivel, striking in. Lovely score by Owen Lawless. High and over the bar. The man that played full back for the Galway under-20s last year gets his first score of the game.
Brilliant score in fairness. Ian McGlynn again, 2 good balls inside. The first one
recycled well.
Second one into Darren O'Brien. He put it across. Maybe not enough numbers around, as you said earlier, but in fairness, Niall Collins did brilliant to win that ball and pop it out. Owen Lawless then swivelling over the bar. Maybe he should be a forward.
Half time. Sigerson and Adam places forward. Half time, then the scoreline that we have is 12 points for Carlow, 2-4 for Carlow, 12 points for University of Galway. Quick summary in that opening half. Kept us interested, definitely.
Kept us very, very interested. I think the start kind of took us. If anyone was half asleep in the crowd, they were really, really woken up. But in fairness, after that, Evan Nyland has, you know, a huge amount of frees hit, and I think Carlow, if they're coming together there now, will be really disappointed by that, because, as we said, they're doing very, very well in general when the Carlow guys have the ball on the inside line to keep it a poor shot. But they've given away a couple of sloppy frees, a couple out around the middle where it really wasn't needed. And I think, you know, the Carlow management will have a serious word about that and say, look, second half we have the wind. If we don't give away frees, we have a great chance of winning. Like
Nyland's tally 7.6 from frees, so that means 6 out of InUIG's total of 12 is from the place ball. Now, in fairness to him, some of them are way back the field as well.
And that's it. With him, it feels like with the breeze that they had a little bit of a breeze there. That you can't give them away inside, maybe, you know, your own 65 even. I don't think it'll go as long. We saw Owen Cody hit a free back in his own 65 here first half, and it tailed, you know, so it is, I'd say, a little bit more difficult hitting it up to the top goals here on our right hand side. So it'll be interesting though. You know, both teams have things to work on. I think Galway's forward line.
Yeah, it's a bit disjointed at the minute, or maybe lacking in numbers. But was that because Killeen was pulled back as well? Maybe.
Possibly. It's just that final ball, and when it gets in there, even one of the last balls, I think it was Greg Thomas, perfect ball into his hand for a big man. didn't make it stick. Now they got a point afterwards, but those balls have to stick.
Yeah.
I think they have to be in a little bit deeper in terms of it being a dangerous ball in. There's like we saw for Chris Nolan's goal and another couple of balls that went in, it was in around the square.
And it was to hand, yeah.
And it was to hand,
Yeah.
and just if it breaks around there, it's a
Yeah.
real danger.
Yeah.
But if it breaks outside it, it's not.
Finally, before we take the half-time break, Owen Cody, a point from a free. Chris Nolan, that goal, but definitely while Galway will be looking for their forwards, probably Carlow will be looking at these guys to say, listen, we need more from you too.
I would think so, and
Yeah.
we need more. And 2-4, you know,
Yeah.
2 early goals.
Yes.
Outside of 2, what? First
Yeah,
2
they
minutes.
2-1 scored was it 3 or 4 minutes?
Exactly. So outside that, for 25 minutes or more, they have 4 points scored. So as we might be saying Galway have things to work on. For God's sake, 4 points in 25 minutes for with a forward. We're saying, you know,
Yeah.
Keane Kenny, Thomas
It's dark
Keys,
when you put it
Chris
like that,
Nolan.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that's dark as well. So both teams, you know, will have enough to be talking about, I'd say, at halftime.
We'll come back and bring you that second half live here on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel, and don't forget at 7:45 we'll be heading down to the reigning champions UL who take on UCD. That's at 7:45, also live on the YouTube channel. If you want to get the details, go on to Electric Ireland's website or just follow Electric Ireland's social media and they will give you all the information. So half-time here then from myself and Paddy here in Dangan. We'll be back for the second half. Half-time, it's University of Galway 12 points, it's SETU Carlow 2-4. We'll watch for Paddy straight away is who'll pick up the danger man Owen Cody. Straight away it's the Carlow men on the break from the throw-in, and what a way to start the game. Kenny Ryan from back Adam Daly, who then goes long into the one-man full forward line inside. There was a slip inside, but he's broken inside the full forward. A shot into the back of the net. Chris Nolan, point early doors in this contest, and the other thing is that's a long-range effort out the field that goes high and over the bar. Good score. Anyway, able to hold off defenders as again straight through the middle go Carlow with great pace by the corner forward. She's going in and goal and sticking it to the back of the net. Thomas Keys into the full forward line. Well taken by Greg Thomas. Gets onto his left hand side, striking in towards the goal. Did he pull it? No, he got it just inside the far post. Excellent score. And Paddy to the right corner forward position. Roisin Flannery is with the St. Thomas's club. Goes back to his captain Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien pops it high, puts it over the bar.
That's some response now.
Blanchfield, and Blanchfield powers the ball over to the field. Lovely take on the stick by Owen Cody. Is that Owen Cody?
Kieran Burke.
Kieran Burke, in fact it is, and he puts it high, puts it over to Thomas Hines. Galway using the ball well. Then Evan Nyland decides, you know what, from the left half forward position, I'm going for this. That's a super strike. We're right behind it.
Yeah.
Excellent score, Paddy. Drives an early ball. Breaking off into Brian Concannon. We haven't seen a lot from Concannon. He gets it onto his left hand side though. And
that's a great score. Now that
so
is
first
serious.
score.
Him made a run away from him, so it had to be individualistic.
Keane Kenny dropping deep again onto that puck out. Drops this one over the bar.
He must have heard us.
He did. He had a few sighters. Worked the ball back by Kinnear to Owen Lawless. Owen Lawless is going to take on the shot off the left on the swivel. Striking in. Lovely score by Owen Lawless.
Great.
High and over the bar. The man that played full back. The banks of the Corrib at Galway City as the SETU Carlow men could finish off their team talk that they were having out on the pitch here at half time in Dangan, and the University of Galway team returned to the pitch for the second half. Half time then the score 12 points for University of Galway, 2 goals and 4 points for Carlow. You're watching the Fitzgibbon Cup quarter final here on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel. Paddy Stapleton has been with me all throughout the evening, and Paddy, I think both managements have had a chat at the second half. We watched to see the first thing if there's any positional changes or even personnel at half time.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Morrissey is on in the corner forward position for Carlow, so might be Kenny Ryan that's gone. I can't see his yellow helmet at the minute.
Yeah, he was in the wars. Probably change in the middle of the field as well. I think Nicholas Redmond could be into the contest as first free is won by Keane Kenny, the Kilkenny man.
Yeah, another change. Nicholas Redmond on around midfield. So management haven't waited for the match to go away from them, or for Galway to see what they're going to do. They've come in and they said, no, we need to change things up a little bit.
And don't forget that the other two semi-finals on tonight, UCC against ATU of Galway's and the Mardyke. And then at 7:45 on the Electric Ireland channel, you can go and watch UL and UCD. Just go on to the Electric Ireland social media and you will get the link as Owen Cody sends over the free. And Owen Cody at the start of the second half pops that one, puts it over the bar. His second score of the day. And he'd be happy to get the free-taking duties up and running. He will.
And we said there's a little breeze. We could feel it coming into us there, and he struck that with real authority.
We're cold, if nothing else, anyway. They won't worry about that, though, as the ball over there, the foul is on Darren O'Brien. It's going to be free in. It's interesting to look at inside now for University of Galway. I see Brian Concannon, Paddy, seems to have gone into the full forward position.
Yeah, he spent a little time in there first half, but, you know, we felt that maybe they weren't winning enough ball in there. When he didn't win it, it didn't seem like there was too much being won, so we'll see, can he get a little bit more space inside in that area.
No, Evan Nyland with the first free of the second half. He's on his own 65-metre line again. About a metre or so in from the sideline on that far side of the field. Strikes it well. The umpires are happy. Good score.
That's some score now.
It is some score. It's his 8th of the day.
And we could see there was a breeze because it didn't go as fly as far as it did in the first half with the breeze, but God, he hit that like an arrow.
It had enough legs. Puck out. Thomas Hines tried to defend that one. Onto it is Thomas Keys. He ends up on the ground. Well won by Thomas Hines. Tigerish type of cornerback. Owen Lawless quickly offloads into Oisin Salmon, and you're going to say UCG, but University of Galway are out through Tiernan Killeen. Plays a long ball up, looking for Concannon to get onto that ball. Paul Delaney, though, is equal to the task so far. Doing well back there. And the high challenge on him results in a free out.
That was great play, full back play, like a very, very good ball into Brian Concannon, who we know his pace and his power, and just wait and a little nudge to the side, you know, like what you should be doing the full back line. Didn't dive in and just won possession and brought it out.
There's a free on the far side of the field then, as the Carlow men get ready in his position. Blanchfield sends it long. Down on top of the half-back line, breaks nice into Chris Nolan. Nolan on the turn, swivel beautifully, and Chris Nolan strikes off the right. Lovely score. And suddenly Paddy, within 2 quick-fire attacks, they're back on level terms.
Back on level terms, and look, to be fair, that ball went through. Tiernan Killeen there put the hand up, and I suppose the big thing is the back row is told stop the ball. Whether it's your hand or your hurley, you stop it down in front of you, but slipped in inside. Chris Nolan read it well, and that was a lovely little jink and swivel and straight over the bar.
We're level again then. This puck out down on top of Greg Thomas in the wing forward position, but it's tidied up back there by Garrod Lynch from Ballinnakill. Blanchfield goes back to his goalkeeper then, James Lawler. James Lawler comes nearly to the corner back position, gets the hand pass a little bit over, pop though, goes out to Paddy Casey, goes over his head, goes out of the sideline. The breeze is rising, but I can tell you there'll be some hurling purists that will be saying, first of all, why is the goalie out there, Paddy? And second of all, why is he hand passing it over the cornerback's head?
Exactly, James Lawler there. He kind of had a mini tantrum after he handed it away, but to be fair, he was the one who was at blame. Now he hand passed it right over the sideline, and to be fair, you know, cornerback, I think was it Adam Daly, was on a swivel when he was trying to get the ball. So look, it was just poor play, but it was gone a little tight there. A goalkeeper coming out into that position is always dangerous.
Certainly is, as Ian McGlynn takes the line ball, low trajectory on it. Niall Collins gets a touch, breaks back to Evan Nyland. Blanchfield is there though, manning that centre back role for Carlow. Back there also is his wing back, that is Garrod Lynch, and he goes back to the goalkeeper again, James Lawler. This time he links it out. Measured play by Carlow. David Blanchfield Goes long then, looking for Chris Nolan. Mark Hardiman though, reading that well at cornerback for Galway. Gets the ball across then to Tiernan Killeen, who goes across his own 20-metre line to Colin Cunningham. Owen Lawless then on the ball. We're immediately looking up the field to see what he can hit, so he can't, so he has to go with another pass onto the running Colin Cunningham. Galway literally running this ball up the field, and suddenly Cunningham goes into a little bit of space. Has the numbers round him, flicks the pass nicely out to Oisin Flannery, the St. Thomas clubman. He goes back looking for Alex Kinnear, but it was a little bit undercooked. That allowed the tackle to go in. Overhead throw was obviously correct because the referee felt that it was a throw. Kinnear is debating it there with the linesman, who was Carol Collins. But again, Galway had to run a ball a long way up the field. Paddy, nearly worked in the sense, but nothing to hit inside.
Yeah, and look, when I looked up inside, you know, you had a little bit of movement from Oisin Flannery, not enough. And then, to be fair to Paddy Casey, cornerback for Carlow, he had looked after the other side of the field. So Brian Kincannon hadn't too much to move into, but there was a big pocket of space down on this near side, and if somebody had run into it, you know, Owen Laws, I think, would have been able to even put the ball into that space. So again, movement probably not sharp enough, not the understanding, but that's an opportunity. Like, you know, we always look at opportunities as what's in front of goals and shots, but that was an opportunity to get a great ball in, because there was pockets of space, but you know, Galway again didn't utilise it to the best of their ability.
Level ball game in Dangan then. 12 points for NUIG, better known now as UOG, and 2-6 for SETU Carlow. The running repairs have taken place. James O'Connell goes back to his midfield sector. David Blanchard hits the free. So Hurley slightly stepped out of the hand. Will give you an idea. There's biting cold here in Dangan. Ian McGlynn shows that he's doing a lot today. Does a lot of tidying up back there. He goes down with an injury. I think we're going to have another break and play. Stop-start, Paddy, isn't it? Like?
The second half especially is quite stop-start, you know. Said the tentative foul there. Keane Kenny kind of messy enough. I suppose no coach, no defence coach now will be saying, you know, move your feet and go with the player. He kind of just, you know, shunted straight into his man. So, another stoppage there, but look, I think
no great flow to either team.
No great flow, and I think both teams are still none the wiser on who's taking a foothold in the game. They're both still showing up a couple of weaknesses. Carlow started off pretty well with a couple of early scores, but Galway now are after getting back into the game. They're winning the Lions' heart of possession around the middle.
Are we going to be left with the opening 6 minutes of the game, Paddy, when Carlow hit 2-3 to Galway's 1 point? Is that going to be the key moment of the game? We take the free.
The key area, but I'm sure they've addressed it at half time. But you know, again, they've scored 2 points early here and don't look that dangerous since.
I see Brian Concannon down off the ball at the other end of the field as the Watermen through Thomas Keys try to work the ball out.
Oisin Flannery there, again, anytime the referee hears a clip.
He even said it there,
anytime the referee hears a clip of a Hurley, bar you flick the ball first, you know, there's no chance for it not to be a free. So again, Owen Cody started well in the second half with these frees, so he'll be looking to continue that.
Kieran Burke seems to be detailed to pick up Brian Concannon.
Substitution
there. Niall Collins. Niall Collins has gone off.
And Jack O'Mara is
Jack O'Mara, the Clymer clubman. He's club had a great year, winning the Galway Intermediate Championship. So Owen Cody with the free then. Strikes it. Does it get inside that right hand post? It does. Good strike. Good point for the second time in the half. He hits a long range free and now puts his team 1 up. 3 points to no score is the stats at the start of the second half. 2-7 Carlow, 12 points Galway. Look out, Evan Nyland. Nearly broke away from him. McGlynn though gets it back then to Nyland. Nyland goes from the distance, striking high in towards the goal, but the goalkeeper again takes it. That's 4 or 5 now, Paddy, isn't it, that James Lawler has handled?
And they add up. We see it now. They're a couple of points up. Carlow and where could them shots have been? Yeah.
Chris Nolan, danger man in at the edge of the square, being forced back the field by Salmon, who got a touch on the ball. Then breaks kindly into the welcoming hand of Kinnear. Kinnear to Nyland. Nyland gets it off then to Darren O'Brien. Galway working the ball up the field again. Ian McGlynn gets it off to a man in a better position this time, and suddenly Greg Thomas's space coming in from the left half forward position. Has the ideas of a goal here, but Thomas breaks past the challenge, but then over carries the ball. And really, you would have to say from the time he got it, he could have popped a simple point, got his team on the board for the second half, away we go.
And this, like, it's not a hugely high scoring game, and it won't be as it goes on, and just that chance to clip it over the bar.
Now, in fairness, he probably thought maybe there was a goal chance on, but give away the free is a cheap one, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just that decision making.
Yeah.
You know, most forwards will tap that over. With 2 or 3 defenders in front of you, it's the wise thing to do. And a great move before that, but, you know, Galway selectors will be disappointed with that.
2-7 plays 12 points then. Free. Won again by Galway. Alex Kinnear this time goes back to Oisin Salmon. Oisin Salmon put under pressure, then he's forced to hit a ball out to that middle third. One over there by Darren O'Brien. He goes out with the pass then to Owen Lawless. Well worked again by Galway to Evan Nyland. Evan Nyland tried to get the shot away but half blocked down. Thomas comes in and gives away the free there.
Yeah, David Blanchfield there now. You know, he's playing a difficult, very difficult role, because there's not effectively a sweeper really for Carlow in the back line. So he always has to make the decision, am I going out in Evan Nyland?
Or do I leave the space? Yeah.
And that time, you know, he did a bit of both. He set so that the ball couldn't be put into the full forward line, but the minute Nyland got it, he was out like a flash. And
blocked. Yeah.
Big, long, tall man, and he really made a count. But that's important. Like, Evan Nyland will score then.
Yeah.
But that could be the change now. That's a 2-point swing maybe if Owen Cody could put this over the bar.
100%. Galway's second half tactics seem as well to be, there's not a lot of ball going inside to, you know, one-on-one situations that we saw a bit of in the first half.
No, they're running the ball again, you know, and they probably have to be justified against the breeze.
Cody with the free. Has he got 3 at the start of the second half? No, this one goes to the wrong side of the post and wide. 2-7 to 12 points. Still anyone's game, Paddy.
Anyone's game, but you know, Darren O'Brien has got into a little bit more. He was quiet towards the end of the first half, but for Galway, he's key for them to make the scores. He's done very well at the start of the second half.
Good catch by Jack O'Mara from that puck out, and no matter what system you're playing, Paddy, if you can win primary ball,
well, that's an easy game. That's an easy tactic if you can pull that off every time. You know,
absolutely.
I suppose the best players in the country, the TJ Reeds in this world, and Aaron Gillans, and these guys, Grod Hegarty's, they make it look very simple, you know. Yeah.
Not alone make it stick, wins the free, and suddenly scoring opportunity tonight. And you just get the impression that University of Galway just need a score to kickstart the second half, don't you?
They do now. They got a free earlier there from Nyland on the far side, but they do need the rate to be upped, or they'll possibly turn into what happened Carlow in the last 25 minutes of the first half.
Nyland striking this one, but it goes to the wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, we could hear that in front of us, Sean.
To correct myself, of course, Nyland has got a point for NUIG in the second half, for University of Galway in the second half. But you could hear it, Paddy,
Yeah, a little clip, you know, wasn't as smooth as usual.
So 13 points to 2-7. Again, Galway doing well on the Carlow puckouts when they go long, Paddy. They seem to have a grip back here.
Every time nearly, and that's the one position I'd say Carlow will be really disappointed on. They're not even really contesting the breaks.
Absolutely. Ball upfield now. Can they do some work at the other end? Thomas gets the pass off to Darren O'Brien, pulls the trigger, good score. Yeah,
Darren O'Brien, second point of the game. Like, that's another. He's involved again, and he's involved in every scoring chance that they have. That was brilliant run off the shoulder. But in fairness to Greg Thomas, I was giving out about him a minute ago, his decision making. That time, quick ball in, pop off the shoulder, which he done in the first half for the goal chance.
He did,
So, you know, he is causing hassle as well when he gets the right type of ball.
Better from a Galway point of view as Colin Cunningham gets onto that ball again. Back to Ian McGlynn. Lovely measured ball off to Kinnear. Kinnear tries to get it off to Nyland. A little bit sharp, but Nyland did well. Then decides to go inside in towards Jack O'Mara. Puts out the hand as well to get onto the ball. Been swung around, wins the free.
There you go again, Jack O'Mara. That's
2 wins, 2 possessions. Foul twice. Equals.
Exactly, two handy shots at the target, you know, and I would even say I think it was Grod Lynch was on him there, or no, maybe it was Kieran Burke. Either way, they were at the advantage for the ball. They were actually on the right side of the ball, and Jack O'Mara just used his body, came across the defender, but had, you know, I mean, a lot of people can do that, but he had the hand and hand-eye coordination, and he was trying to pop it off. So that's, I mean, you can't ask for a better introduction than what he's given Galway, you know, that bit of impetus.
So now Evan Nyland to take the free, and he pops this one.
Yeah, we'd have a fair heart attack now if he didn't put that one over the bar.
So he puts it over the bar, and it's now a ball game. There's David.
That tactic, see, Nyland got the ball there that time as well, and you know, Blanchfield didn't know whether to go out to him or come back, and it ended up with a nice pop ball inside and a scoring chance.
That's right. So then, SETU Carlow to Jack Morrissey. Tries to throw it over the head of Colin Cunningham. I don't know, is it a day for throwing it over the head of, or an evening in Galway to be at the Kevin Broderick type stuff down to the years. Ruck ball situation again. Galway had the numbers in there, but Owen Cody does very well to knock it back into his own path. Gets it into the hand. Owen Cody runs into challenges from both Owen Lawless and Alex Kinnear, and eventually wins the free.
Yeah, he's a powerful man, isn't he? You know,
he is, yeah.
To be able to throw the ball onto your hurley, be getting tackled and still make progress and not drop it. And it was, to be fair to him, there was arms across him, and powerful man. But I think Galway can be really, happy with how they've dealt with him so far. But this is the hard time when guys, defenders are getting tired. There's a bit more space. Now is when they'll have to really hold on to him.
We'll be going to the third and final, or the fourth quarter final, of course. UL against UCD, 7:45 down in Limerick. They can follow it live on the Electric Ireland YouTube channel. Shane Langan and the team will be there as Owen Cody stands over this free, and a chance for the Kilkenny man to strike the target, which he does exactly. Puts it high, puts it over the bar. 4th point for Owen Cody.
Yeah, all for frees now.
All for frees, yeah.
At the end of it, they mightn't mind as long as he's hitting those ones, Hit the wire there, coming out for the puck out now.
That's not the first time that has happened in Dangan.
No, that's one of the last remaining pitches with an electric wire over it, I'd say.
For our viewers, there's 3 big, massive electrical wires going across the Dangan field, and I can remember loads of times through the years where it hits that. Has often saved teams.
I'd say the football has often hit it.
Yes, yeah. 15 points to 2-8 in 45.
For Galway, yeah, well won there.
This really is where we started, Paddy, isn't it? Like, we're 3 quarters into the game. They're still level. It's anyone's game. You're kind of waiting for a burst from someone, aren't you?
Well, we got a very, very early burst.
Yeah, we did. We got that.
But since that, we haven't had much. But, and they were fantastic. I think it was Ian McLean won that free again. Yeah. You'd have to say, he, outside what a lot of your county players and even Tiernan Killeen.
Well, he's a former underage player, a very good player, yeah.
You'd see by him. Even his passing now, he's hit some great balls in.
Yeah, uses it well.
And used it really, really well. So, Ian McLean, in fairness to him, is having a very, very good game.
So then, Evan Nyland back inside his own half of the field again. Of course, his younger brother Aaron was part of the Pres Athenry team that won the Connacht College's title at the weekend. And as we say here in Galway, when he comes, I don't know who's going to take the frees for Clare and Bridge, Paddy, because they're 2 class free takers. Evan striking this one, and you know where it went, straight over the bar.
They're
classic scores.
They are, but it's so hard to get a score here, especially with that breeze. To put that over the bar from that distance is brilliant. 16
points to 2-8. Suddenly, Galway and Jack O'Mara on the ball again. But Galway back in the lead again as Carlow come down the field. Early ball played inside. Again, it's that man McLean onto it. It's like a magnet with the ball. Quick pass off to Tiernan Killeen. Off to Darren O'Brien. He tried to add to it before it went out over the line. Couldn't connect.
Not a bad idea, really. He was put into no man's land against the sideline. I'd say 2 or 3 Carlow guys were going to hop him straight over the line. So
and there's going to be a collector's item for the highlights reel, ground ball hit.
The traditionalists would have loved it. Now, I suppose the one bad ball Tiernan Killeen has given all game. He's been excellent at distributing, but finally poised here. Definitely hard to see who's going to get that final burst, the 3-4 scores in a row to get ahead.
Absolutely. So then, taking the ball. Darren O'Brien tries to keep it alive, does well, put up that big right hand, gets it into his possession, and he's fouled and he wins the free. And every free here has been praised as if it was a score.
It is maybe with Nyland.
Yeah, in the house, that's right, yeah.
In fairness, that was, Carlow will be a little disappointed there. There has to be a defender or, your player in front of that sideline cut. So Darren O'Brien was able to pick it up. Getting the first touch on it with nobody around him, but he done well to win the free again. He's involved in
and we're looking at very basic things here that are leading to frees, aren't we? Like in terms of,
well, you've still inexperienced players. They're still cutting their teeth.
In a pressure game, in fairness,
very pressurised.
Yeah. So the strike by Nyland is well hit again inside the post. Wow,
it's amazing, really. Isn't it?
He's worth a fortune in gold in this scenario. So then, another point for the men of NUIG, better known as UOG. 17 points now they put on the board. Carlow break that ball again, but this time it's Brian Concannon dropping deep to get onto the ball. Flicks the pass off then to Oisin Flannery. Oisin Flannery is going to have a go from standing on the sideline. Flannery, does it get inside the post? It does. Excellent score. Oisin Flannery high and over the bar. He's first of the day. Excellent score.
And a great move. You know, again, we're talking about how much Galway are winning the puck outs. They won it again, but this time they were very, very sharp. Brian Concannon running through, and Oisin Flannery, to be fair, with a great score.
Excellent score. They come again. Jack O'Mara. Jack O'Mara pulls it high, and that's an excellent score by O'Mara. That's some point, Paddy. And he's a guy that's had a fair impact since he's come in.
Unbelievable impact. He's really, really turned it around. That's 3 or 4 point opportunities he's been involved in. That's fantastic play. But you know, Galway, 2 scores in a row, broke tackles, popped it up to a man in his own to let him have a strike at goal.
Excellent score. And suddenly, a small little bit of daylight. As Galway come again, it's all coming from this power base back in the half-back line, middle third. Alex Kinnear gets away from his man, goes through the centre-forward channel, strikes it high, puts it over the bar. Lovely score again.
Sean, these are carbon copies. Puck out, one, on the move, break a tackle.
We talked about this base back here in the half-back line. They have it from the early doors of the second half.
Carlow haven't been able to trouble him at all on a high ball, at any stage at all.
And they're also being forced into this area with the puck out, so they'll not go short, you would think, with a few of them?
I would be thinking something similar myself, even change the trajectory. That's not just a lob ball down.
Darren O'Brien, long ball inside. O'Mara is trying to get onto it again. Tries to keep the ball alive, but that's good defending by Paul Delaney. Comes away, gets it off then to Tomas Keys, and Tomas Keys going through the centre forward channel, but this time being forced out to the wing. Has for support there though Kieran Burke. He's already got a point in the game. Kieran Burke comes off the woodwork and pops over the bar. Lovely point by Kieran Burke, and a point that they needed back.
Sorely needed back now. That's just to break the momentum of Galway, but as you said, they can't continue pucking the ball down, and because it's so hard to defend. You're after pushing all your attackers up, and the minute Galway win it, if they break out at all, they've lots of space to work it.
So then, puck out to that far side of the field. Ball breaks, Concannon is onto it. Brian Concannon striking off the left again, has a shot, but that one goes to the wrong side, the post and wide.
I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that, but again, on to the break quicker. Like we can talk tactics all we want about it, but that's breaking the ball, get onto the break.
Absolutely.
If you win the lion's share, you'll probably get more scores.
This time, Chris Nolan has won a ball for the men of Carlow. We're going back for a free if he doesn't make advantage, and we do go back for the free. And I suppose that, again, the more I said about Jack O'Mara, win the primary ball, suddenly the game changes, doesn't it? You were
around again, and especially we talked that, you know, college teams, you don't get the tactics right. You can't work on passages of play as much as inter-county teams or even club teams. But there, again, we saw, you know, Chris Nolan won that ball going through the middle. But Thomas Hines, to be fair to him, probably a natural born back man now. He sort of pulled his man back and made sure that he wasn't going through for a goal.
Yeah. So then the free is about to be taken by Owen Cody. You see also that Richard Foley is coming to the game for SETU Carlow. So Cody went low with it. Saved by the Galway. Stone wall was on the line. Cody comes again, comes back. Is he going to pull the trigger a second time? Tries to stop it, but it's blocked and picked up by Ian McGlynn after the first time and blocked. Our high challenge by Cody on him. Wow.
Wow, yeah, I don't think we were expecting that one. And he went for, you know, I mean, sometimes there's a mishit, and you feel like, you know, that he went for the point and he totally mishit it. He put his, you know, he put all his might into that one. Not a particularly fantastic shot, but you'd have to credit the Galway players on the line. They were ready for it. It was probably easy.
I know the clock is ticking away, but you're still only 20 points to 9. It's, you know, it's a 5-point ball game. Okay, the goal would have helped, but pop it over the bar, you think?
Well, you always want, you know, for me, you always want to get it back to 3 points. Like, you know, with that amount of time left, you always want to get it back to the goal margin. And if you can get to the goal margin, then you can start getting, the Galway guys can start getting nervous about it.
Plus, you lift the confidence of the defenders by saving it. Ruben Davitt, meanwhile, coming in and Galway under 20 star.
We'll have to get a point from this now. I mean, what does it do for the players on the field and the crowd?
Interesting. May only be February, but it's a big cause in certain games. As we head down the home stretch here then. Linesman on this side of the field is indicating that I think is just making sure that the sub has gone in correctly.
And look, Carlow have made a substitution obviously there, but they'll need to make a couple of more changes around the field. Even maybe get Brian Cody inside and see can our own Cody inside. Can he work?
As well if he can.
If he could, can he work a bit of magic in there, because they're just don't, you know. Galway have answered the puzzle. They have,
and they've put a vice-like grip on it.
Yes, and it seems they're able to deal with most of what Carlow are able to throw at them. So I think they need to switch a couple of players, change the dynamic of the game. If nothing, because it's slowly going away from him.
So 20 points to 2-9. We don't actually have a scoreboard here in Dangan, which is one thing you would think that could certainly
We're
could
under a
do
bit of
it.
pressure, yeah. We're under a bit of pressure if nobody else is.
Yeah. Maybe they might put it on the list of things to do.
Yeah, we'll have to use the fingers and toes.
We will, and I'm on the toes, so I'll give you the rest of them now. So David Blanchfield with the free. 5 points down. This one has known it as it comes down. In around the square. Dangerous ball. Well tidied up by Thomas Hines. Hines loses it, but Oisin Salmon is there. Ball still alive though. And along the end line. McLean again coming out with that ball. Good play by McLean, gets it off to Killeen, goes back with the pass, measured, confident, composed play. Colin Cunningham then goes long up the field. Blanchfield goes up there with Darren O'Brien. Challenge on the Carlow man that the referee is quite happy with. Blanchfield goes a running again, and then he's fouled. You know, if Anthony, I thought that Nicholas Redmond might have been due a free more than David Blanchfield there, but anyway.
Yeah, look fairly full frontal to us now. I suppose the ref doesn't have the great view we have of this
I
sideline,
suppose,
but, full frontal there, and then didn't really see much.
No, there wasn't a lot in that one, was there?
It was like the whistle was blown before he got tackled on that one, but look, it's
and a yellow card for it. Wow.
He might have let him know.
Yeah, he might.
I don't know.
Maybe we're not hearing everything. We might see everything, we're not hearing it. So then Evan, our own Cody. We're only a few metres away from him as he strikes that. Good strike, puts it over. And now you say that with the last one, when he went low, if he had popped it,
would have been back to 3, would we?
Correct.
So yeah, look, there's all decisions. If we went in, we'd say, you know, genius idea, but that was a great strike nonetheless.
Yeah, it was, Mark Hardiman, long ball downfield, looking for Greg Thomas. Ball comes off him, and every one of these decisions are being contested. It hasn't been the greatest, purest, pleasing type of game, Paddy, but a lot of intensity, a lot of different things in it. But I tell you, whoever gets through will be quite happy.
And they'll be very, very happy, and they'll have known they got through a dogged game.
That's right.
Both teams will have stuff to work on, but you know, it's still there.
It is.
One ball inside there. We know what Chris Nolan is like up front. We know they have power and pace. You know, we know Thomas Keys can be a flyer as well. So there's always danger.
They started with 2 goals. Who's to say that they wouldn't finish with a few of them? Again, stalemate situation. Well won by Nyland. Goes back with a pass then to Tiernan Killian. Gets into a little pocket of space. Plays a nice little ball inside. Measured ball into Ruben Davitt. Lovely control. Well taken by the Ormore Mary man. But then he's simply outnumbered. And Mark Troy is back there to win the ball. But sends it up again a little. Well, there's nothing to hit, and Galway have the numbers back there. And now Owen Lawless on the ball, caught it 3 times.
Sharp by the ref. He threw it up to switch hands, and he actually didn't touch it. He's not happy, but
no, but he did.
Again, we could nearly do VAR now. We're right beside this area here,
but we get a lot of money for that now. Imagine going with VAR in the GA.
I think we've enough with.
I think we have,
with the Taw Neil, I think we've enough. That was a great decision by the ref. Owen Lawless not happy with it.
No, and a situation like 4-point ball game, heading down the home stretch, an attacking opportunity now suddenly free for the opposition.
Yeah, exactly.
So Owen Cody, we're nearly afraid to talk. He's so near to us as he sends over this free. Ireland Club winner, of course, earlier in the year. He strikes it. Young Hurler of the Year twice. We could hear him saying that one as it veered off. It could be kept alive though in around the edge of the square. Mark Hardiman comes across, nearly has it in under control. One back by Carlow though. Ball comes out. There's a goal scoring opportunity here, but couldn't quite get ball to hand. And Galway get away with one there. But even when the free didn't hit the target, it's still a danger ball in around the house.
Danger. It hung up there, and you know what? Great battling inside from the Carlow inside line. And they had a bit of a goal chance there. I think the referee let the throw away that time, maybe just let the game flow. But you know, that's the sort of chance we're saying. There's still danger. Like one goal, you know, that one moment, and it all changes.
We have 2 minutes then of regulation time left in the contest, as that's another free out, and 20 points to 2-16, still alive.
Yeah, still alive. But look, I look down here, the ball's just been won for free, and there's aimless jogging around by the Carlow inside forward line. There's one hurley in the air as Chris Nolan's looking for it inside, but geez, they want to get a little more dynamic, a little bit pep in their step.
And get numbers up there. This one's going down on top of Nolan. Does well to catch it, then comes out the field to make a little bit of space for himself. We're going back for the free.
Catch.
Yeah, he did awfully well there. And again, you'd be wondering why, like, he got the goal at the start.
Yeah.
We're nearly in the 59th minute now. He's now like Would that
change
not have
it
been?
up,
Yeah,
pop in a
would
few
it not
more.
an option during the game?
Yeah, I would have said so.
Similarly, with Galway's other end, we're looking for Brian Concannon here at the minute in terms of getting him in. He's out around midfield.
He's
Like,
out on midfield, yeah, and he's had chances inside. And but I suppose we're talking about Pures. It's a little bit of a stalemate around.
It is,
around the middle. Even when it is won by Galway or Carlow, it seems that there's bodies around them. But I suppose that's when you have to switch to play, and then just deliver an early ball in. But it is, I suppose there's a lot of running in the game, a lot of rucks, but there's still chances.
and if you're Galway, you're 4 up, and if you're Carlow, you're not that far behind, so you're not going to change. Now, Cody is going to go low with this 20-metre free. Little bit of stuff out here in the middle of the field off the ball.
He looks fairly intent on
He
it,
does.
doesn't he?
He does. He's definitely going for this one. He went low a few minutes ago, striking this one, save on the goal line again. I think it's McLean and Liam Riley, the Castlegar man, the goalkeeper, comes out with the ball and gets the flick pass out towards the sideline. Can Alex Kinnear keep it in play? He can't. Let off again.
Let off again.
Good play
yeah.
again. I think it was our man McLean again on the line.
I'd say so. He's everywhere, in fairness. He's been dynamic all game, but I suppose disappointed to miss 2 21-yard frees,
Ball breaks, so they'll come again. Carlow, Thomas Keys decides this time that he's going to pop it over the bar. I won't say what I'm thinking, that if you pop the last 2 free, but anyway.
Yeah, look, we would say that. I suppose it was the same play. They still got it.
Got something out of it.
They'll actually be happy that they still got the point. It's just time. They just need the quick freeze.
3 minutes of additional time then. Enough of time to win 2 games, never mind 1.
They just need one big chance now.
That's all. McThomas goes high over there. Ball. This is a vital ball now.
I think I'll be planting on Cody inside that full
Yeah,
forward line.
absolutely.
And himself and and Chris Nolan.
And Chris Nolan, yeah.
Get it into him to hell.
Long ball down to Mark Troy. Mark Troy under pressure from 2 Galway defenders, but doesn't play the ball inside. And McLean picks it again, drives it upfield, looking for Concannon, puts it out over the end line. Game management is what's at stake here now. From Galway's point of view, for Carlow, it's one way to find the back of the net if they can.
And would you, if you got a couple of, like Galway, the thought would be to sit back. If you're Carlow, if you got the chance, would you pop a couple of scores and try and get it down to the last poke out at least?
Yeah. Would you put pressure on the officials even to keep the game going as well?
Exactly, yes, yeah.
9 ball. And even now, I'm just looking, Carlow still only Chris Nolan inside.
God, if I was Galway, I'd be dropping a man inside there now. I wouldn't.
Doubling up.
Yeah, I just have one extra man in there,
And a free into Carlow.
Essentially, they have a full back and they have no cornerbacks in there. So I'd even put put one guy from the forward line or midfield, put him right in there beside, beside Oisin Salmon, and just
cover it off. Yeah,
cover it off because you could say
and
it's a sweeper.
Like it's a one-score game right now, and you want to avoid that score if you're Galway. You want to get it if you're Carlow.
Yeah, and I don't think having a guy up front is going to help him all too much at the minute.
Cody takes the free.
Wide ball.
The umpires are taking an age. Wide ball, let off.
Big let off. It's still. They probably do need a goal.
Galway will say, well, we defended it. We give them an opportunity from a difficult angle, put it wide. Ends through means maybe, as Liam Riley, not the fastest puck out he's ever taken, but I suppose you can hardly blame him. He's going to drop it down this side of the field. The numbers are here. Great catch though. Super bit of play there by the Carlow man, that's Nicholas Redmond, but then he's overturned. Owen Lawless goes in, he's blocked down, and that'll suit Galway right down to the wire.
They might bring a lad from the far side of the field over to take that one, but that's, that again, I think you would say about Galway though, in the second half, when Carlow have won it in their half back line, Galway have been way better to stop them coming out with the ball. Yeah. They've been under constant pressure. And when we talk about bursts, that 3-point burst there in the middle of the second half is what put the light between them. And that's when Carlow let their levels down and Galway were able to move forward.
If you go back again to that 2-3 to 1 points after 6 minutes, Carlow got an unbelievable start. Like if you look at it since, they've scored 10 points.
10 points, yeah. Just not enough at this level.
Jack O'Mara tries to get the ball inside. Again, it's Carlow that have the numbers back. Ball from Blanchfield comes very close to the side and goes out over the line. Again, work rate from the Galway forwards. They'll take that. Jeff Linsky, the manager, is there saying Galway line ball. Well, McLean will take it. He'll take an age taking it, work down the clock.
Yeah, that's a couple of balls now that you'd say Carlow will be really disappointed that they got it, looked and just hit it.
And even, Paddy, we look at the Carlow or the Galway half of the field. Carlow have 2 forwards inside, well 3 now inside the 65-metre line. You're chasing the game.
You're chasing the game, and I see.
And there goes the final whistle. It's all over. almost an anticlimax finish to the game, and in the end it's University of Galway that for the second year in a row head to the semi-final.
Head to the semi-final, and you couldn't say they didn't deserve it in that second half. I think they were a team that really worked their backsides off. As I said, Carlow never got a rhythm going coming out of their back line. They had a bit of a breeze there, but we can't remember too many times where they had a ball, you know, worked it into a nice position for a scoring chance second half. So Galway did. They had that burst. I think that was the real difference where they won 4 or 5 puck outs from Carlow, burst up the field, and were able to take a couple of easy scores, and that to me was the difference in the end.
And not to labour the point as well, but for most of the second half we have an image, haven't we, of that middle third being dominated by Galway and winning the primary possession, which was the game.
Absolutely, that was it. And even if Carlow won it, they were turned over. When Galway won, they seemed to use it that little bit better. Now I think Galway will still be looking at the video of this and say, look, we've little bits and pieces to improve,
which is an ideal way to win, with learnings, whatever. They have an experience of being in the final last year. Now they have lost a lot of marquee players from last year's team, but they're into the semi-final. And
they probably had a load of panellists who saw exactly the style that they wanted to play, and just, you know, on their own home patch here today, they dug in. They really dug in now, to be fair. Like the amount of balls that they made the Carlow guys clear poorly, and the marquee players that they stopped, you know. I mean, Owen Cody didn't score from play. If
you were told that before the match.
Yeah, and you'd be a little critical, maybe, God, get him inside for a while. Where he's at home, where he can use his strength and maybe borrow his way through. You know, Cian Kenny got 1 point, I think, from play. And didn't, you know, we usually associate Cian Kenny with getting on the ball, setting up, even his passing is brilliant, you know, his great vision, setting up attacks, and it just wasn't happening. I suppose coming from the fact that Carlow weren't even, you know, contesting on their own puck out for a lot of it. And, you know, Galway, you know, for me, definitely, after that first 5 minutes of the match, the rest of the 55 minutes, they were, you know, a stretch the better team.
And withstood that early shocking start from there. In the end, so it's University of Galway that are through to the Fitzgibbon semi-finals, where they join last night's winners, SETU of Waterford. Don't forget, at 7:45 on the YouTube channel of Electric Ireland, you can now watch the reigning champion duel against UCD in the 4th and final quarter-final. Oisin Langan and the team are there. But from Dangan, from me, Sean Welsh, from Paddy Saberton, who was with us all this evening, it's been enjoyable, Paddy, and we now know that there's going to be competition in those semi-finals at least.
We definitely do. I'm looking forward to it now. I haven't seen too much Fitzgibbon this year, but this kind of whetted the appetite now for the semi-final and the final.
A cold evening in Galway wasn't that bad after all. Our thanks to Paddy. There you have it then. So it is University of Galway that reached the semi-finals by virtue of the final scoreline of University of Galway 20 points. It's SETU of Carlow 2-11. We'll watch for Paddy straight away is who'll pick up the danger man Owen Cody. Straight away it's the Carlow men on the break from the throw-in, and what a way to start the game. Kenny Ryan from back Adam Daly, who then goes long into the one-man full forward line inside. There was a slip inside, but he's broken inside the full forward. A shot into the back of the net. Chris Nolan point early doors in this contest, and the other thing, that's a long range effort out the field that goes high and over the bar. Good score, and he's able to hold off defenders as again straight through the middle go Carlow with great pace by the corner forwards, going in and goal and sticking it to the back of the net. Thomas Keys into the full forward line, well taken by Greg Thomas, gets onto his left hand side, striking in towards the goal. Did he pull it? No, he got it just inside the far post. Excellent score. And Paddy to the right corner forward position with Oisin Flannery. As with the St. Thomas's club, goes back to his captain Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien pops it high, puts it over the bar.
That's some response now.
Blanchfield, and Blanchfield powers the ball over to the field. Lovely take on the stick by Owen Cody. Is that Owen Cody?
Kieran Burke.
Kieran Burke, in fact it is, and he puts it high, puts it over to Thomas Hines. Galway using the ball well. Then Evan Nyland decides, you know what, from the left half forward position, I'm going for this. That's a super strike. We're right behind it. Excellent score, Paddy. Drives an early ball. Breaking off into Brian Concannon. We haven't seen a lot from Concannon. He gets it onto his left-hand side, though. And
that's a great score. Now, that is serious. Him made a run away from him, so it had to be individualistic.
Cian Kenny dropping deep again onto that puck out. Drops this one over the bar.
He must have heard us.
He did. He had a few sighters. Worked the ball back by Kinnear to Owen Lawless. Owen Lawless is going to take on the shot off the left on the swivel. Striking in. Lovely score by Owen Lawless. Great. High and over the bar. The man Nolan on the turn. Swivel beautifully. And Chris Nolan strikes off the right. Lovely score. And suddenly Paddy, within 2 quick-fire attacks, do some work at the other end. Thomas gets the pass off to Darren O'Brien, pulls the trigger, good score.
Yeah, Darren O'Brien, second point of the game, like that's another. He's involved again. And
Oisin Flannery. Oisin Flannery is going to have a goal from standing on the sideline. Flannery, does it get inside the post? It does. Excellent score. Oisin Flannery, high and over the bar. He's Jack O'Mara. Jack O'Mara pulls it high, and that's an excellent score by O'Mara. That's some point, Paddy. And he's a guy
dream.
that's had a fair impact since he's come here. Gets away from his man, goes through the centre forward channel, strikes it high, puts it over the bar. Lovely score again.
Sean, these are carbon copies.
There.
Poke out one.
For support there, though, Kieran Burke. He's already got a point in the game. Kieran Burke comes off the woodwork and pops over the bar. Lovely point by Kieran Burke, and a point that they needed back. So Cody went low with it. Saved by the Galway. Stone wall was on the line. He's definitely going for this one. He went low a few minutes ago, striking this one, saved on the goal line again. I think it's McLean and Liam Riley, the Castlegar man, the goalkeeper, comes out with the ball. They come again, Carlow. Thomas Keys decides this time that he's going to pop it over the bar. I won't say what I'm thinking, that if you pop the last two free, but anyway.